record this. Just a quick recap. We discussed about the navigation, Power BI desktop navigation, and all the components, three components that are part of Power BI desktop. We discussed it. So this is what our Power BI desktop. How do we launch that? I just go to the start menu, Power BI desktop, and since you have all installed this one already, right? If you type it here, you will get it here. You can either you can click on it here or you can click on it here to launch it. Once you click on it, it will launch the Power BI desktop with the welcome screen. I close the welcome screen, the yellow color one. Okay. And now this is what your Power BI desktop, right? So once you launch your Power BI desktop tool, you see the report canvas. This is where we do the report creation, everything. Okay, we create the reports by dragging and dropping the visuals, and then we create the reports. And we discuss three components. One is they'll ask you three views. Okay, what are the three views that are available in Power BI desktop in the interview? The first view is the report view. Okay, by default, as soon as you open the Power BI desktop, you will see the report view. And the next one is the data view. And third one is the model view. Report view, data view, and model view. Okay, and but when it comes to components, the report canvas, this is the report canvas, and then this is the model view is also called as a Power Pivot. The model view, this is also called as a Power Pivot. I just type it one more time. Initially, I will do the repeat. I'll repeat it. But going forward, make sure that you are picking up fast, okay? Power Pivot. What you are seeing here is now the model view, right? When you click on the model view, what you're seeing is the model view is also called a Power Pivot, okay? This is called your Power Pivot, and this is your report view, and this is your data view. Okay, and we have something called the transform data, the Power Query Editor. This is the one. This is where we do all kind of cleaning, data pre-processing, everything. Like in our home kitchen, we do cleaning, everything. The same thing we do it in the Power Query Editor. Okay, and in your Power Query Editor, we will come back little later. And how do we load the data? We have seen how to load the CSV file. Okay, I will do it one more time. I just click on the text CSV file. Then I go to the dat1 folder. Here you will find sales W04. And how many of you remember the username and password of my website? If you don't remember it, don't worry. I will just share you the GitHub link. From there also you can download the dataset. GitHub. So I can download all the data from here, from the GitHub. Okay, instead of going to my website, here also you can go and download it. And once you go to this GitHub, okay, this is a release management software. And now Microsoft, earlier it was an open source, now Microsoft acquired this one. Still it is open source only. It's a free, okay, but again you have different licensing options also available. So for us, it is okay, and we don't, for learning purpose, we don't need a licensing thing. So here I uploaded all the files, okay, the data files and report files. But if you want to see entire files, you can go to my website and download. I'll just show you one more time. So this is my website. You received the login credentials. So those of you already joined, right? Please bear with me. Okay, it will be annoying repeating the same thing. I explained you this one in the last session. Anyhow, one more time, you can take a look at this one and why it's signing. Anyway, it takes some time here. Once you, once you type the URL, the GitHub URL, and if you press enter, it will bring up this page. And what it is, Control F, use Control F and sales underscore w04.cs. You will find it here. Okay, you just click on it. And then you will find something like this. Click on download here. Okay, on this side. Okay, here you can click on download. If you want to download it, you can download it. But when you click on the text file or CSV file, I think so the file will not get downloaded. Instead, it will open something like this. Okay, you just select Control A, Control C, and put it in a notepad. Paste it and save as the sales w04.csv. Sales underscore w04.csv. You can save it like that. Okay. Okay, you just click on this one. This is one way of doing it. Okay, the other option is you can go to my website with your login credentials. You will find sales underscore w04. Save it as a CSV file, but make sure that you wrap it with a double quote. Start with the double quote and end with double quote and all files. That's all. Okay. And then you just go somewhere here and whichever folder you want it, you can store it there. Okay, got it. This is one way of CSV file. Okay, the Excel file and all, if you click on it, it will download the Excel file. Unlike the CSV file, rest of the files will get downloaded as it is. You don't have to copy paste a notepad. You don't have to do that. But best thing, you can go to my website and then click on the login icon here, login menu. It is a little bit slow. I don't know whether something wrong with my net connection or the website problem. Maybe something wrong with the website service provider. It will not take this much time. Anyhow, wait for some time and you can get something like that. Okay. And for example, this is the user. I just click on the login. Okay. And if you scroll down here, as soon as you log in here, you will find your name here. And then if you scroll down here, the courses that are assigned to you, you can see it here. This is my previous batch. You click on it here. And then if you see here, just beneath the curriculum, if you scroll down here, you will find the second one, 1.2, download resources. Click on it. You can ignore these two files. Better you can click on it because this one has all the files in it. Okay, click on it. It's a zip file. Once you click on it, the zip file will get downloaded. What you do is move that zip file to a meaningful folder. Create some meaningful folder, Power BI training, something like that. In that folder, you move this zip file, okay, and then unzip it there. Once you unzip it, you will find the sales underscore w4.csv file. Okay, you will find this file. I'm talking about this. Okay. So now what happened? What I did? So I just went to the get data icon. I just clicked on it, and then I clicked on text CSV here. I just selected sales underscore w04.csv and click on open. Look here, this is called your data preview window. Okay, it will not load the entire data of your sales w04.csv file. Instead, right, it will load only a few records from your sales w04.csv. Not only this file, you take any file, the data preview, as the name suggests, preview. Preview will show less number of data only, right? It's something like a sample data. And with this, you will get to know, is this the data file I'm using it? Am I using the right data file? Okay, so here you can see that, yeah, and also you will get to know if there are any issues with the data in the preview window itself. You can see that there is a first record null is there. Here blank values are there. Nothing is there. right? So this record is not required. You can scroll towards the end till the end. You can see null. Okay, there is a blank record. Is there? We need to remove this blank record. Okay, what else is there? Okay, rest of them seems to be fine. I just click on load button. We have three options here. Cancel, it's the common sense, right? When you click on cancel, this data file will not get loaded. When you click on transform data, it will open the Power Query editor. Power Query editor, that is where we can do the data cleaning, the removing the blank records, unnecessary columns also you can remove it. Okay, all those things, data transformation, data pre-processing, data cleaning, everything you can do it as part of the transform data. Instead of going to the transform data directly, right? So I just first load this file into my Power BI desktop. So now Power BI desktop establishes a connection with my CSV file in the operating system. Look here, it is creating a connection in model. Okay, and it will take few minutes. It depends on the volume of the data. If the volume of the data is very huge, it will take a lot of time. In this file, oddly, we have 25,000 records. Even for this, look here, it takes this much of time. And then, okay, now the file got loaded into my Power BI desktop. Look here, just beneath the fields pane, you will find the CSW04 file got loaded here. So good. This is my CSV file, CSW04 file. But if you see next to this file, there is an icon here, right? This one is a table icon. So in Power BI desktop, what happens? Whether you load a CSV file or whether you load an Excel file or JSON file, you load even table, Oracle table, or any type of file or table, it will consider everything as a single format, table format. Okay, that's why the table is displayed. You might be wondering, is a CSV file, why it is showing the table format, the icon here. It will consider all type of files as a table only. Okay, now my file got loaded and I want to see the columns that belongs to this table. Okay, just next to that, there is a, this icon, the greater than icon. If you click on it, it will get expanded. You can see all the columns that are available as part of this data file. Got it? And the next one is, okay, I'm able to see the table name and then the column names. Now I want to see the data here. Click on the data view. When you click on the data view, you can see the data here. If you want to see the data, you will have to go to the data view. Got it? So in the data view, we can see all the data here. Very simple. And if you click on the model view, currently we have only one table, but the way it appears is completely different from the way how it appears in the report canvas, right? It looks like a table kind of thing, right? It looks like a table, but whereas here it looks like simple file name and column name, something. It literally looks like a table. Okay. And if you have more than one file, if you have loaded more than one file, it will automatically create the relationship between the tables. Anyhow, that part I will discuss it later. As of now, I just go to the report canvas and I'll just take a look at this one. Look here on the right side, we have category, all these columns are there, but there are some columns, you can see that next to that, the sigma sign is there, which means those columns are numeric data type. Okay, those columns are having a numeric data type. So within numeric data type, there are, you have something called whole number, you have a decimal number, fixed decimal number. Likewise, different numeric data types are available. But sigma represents these columns are indicates these the columns that are prefixed with sigma are nothing but the numeric data type. Okay, fine. And but surprisingly, when I see the sales column, I don't see the sigma sign here. So does that mean the sales column is not considered as a numeric data type? Yes. Okay. So this is an issue. Okay. Before you create your report or model, you need to make sure that your data column data types and the column names and any issues with the data, you need to check it out first. Okay. And now there is a problem with the sales, and I just click on sales here. The moment when I clicked on it, on top you can see a new menu got displayed, right? So this is the one. So with this, we can see that easily the sales column is a text data type. Power BI, what it does is when you load any file into the Power BI desktop, it assigns the data type automatically. Okay, so but unfortunately, sales is a numeric data type. It assigned a text data type. Now we need to go and explore why it assigned text data type to sales column. And then if you look at the quantity and profit here, the profit and quantity, it assigned the correct data type. It's a numeric data type, and you can see the sigma sign just before this. Even shipping cost is good, but the only the sales column we have some issue. Okay, and we need to go and address it. This is one issue, and also order date. We will check the other columns data type. Make sure that whatever the columns that you are going to use it in your report, those columns are assigned with the right data type. That is the one you need to first check it out. So here we just checked it, but order date and how do I, for the numeric data type, it assigns the sigma sign. In the case of sales, we know very well sales is a numeric data, but we did not see the sigma sign along with this. Hence we decided there is something wrong with this columns data type. Fine, but order date, how do we know that? Except numeric data type, the rest of the columns names only will get displayed. But how do we make sure that the right data type got assigned to the right columns? For example, order date is a date data type. Here itself, we can see, you just click on it, and then you can see that there is a problem with this data type. Look here, it assigned the text data type. Instead of date data type, it assigned the text data type wrongly. Okay. So why? We need to explore sales and order date and including the ship date also. Ship date, I'll just click on ship date. Look here, even for ship date, it shows text data type. Date column should be assigned with the date data type, and the numeric columns supposed to be assigned with the numeric data type. Okay, but now the question is, okay, numeric data type sales column should get assigned with the numeric data type. I agree that. So why order date should get assigned with the date data type? If you want to perform any date related manipulations, you cannot perform that easily if the data type is other than date. Okay, if you use a date data type for the date columns, there are built-in functions that are available in Power BI desktop. Like for example, I wanted to extract only the month from this date column, or if you want to extract only the year, month, the date, month, the name, everything is possible if the date column is assigned with the date data type. So okay, now what I do is I just I just go here, and then what is this? I just go to the Power Query editor. Now we need to fix these data type related issues. And what I do is here, you might be asking this one, can't I fix it here? You can also assign it here, but it is always good if you do it in the Power Query editor. Why? See, if I click on sales here, text data type is there. And if I go to the sales column, is right. And here what I can do is simply if I go and select, it's a sales is a decimal number, I can select it, I can assign it. With this data type, your data will be stored differently. This may cause a loss of data precision. There is an issue. See, it alerts us. If you change the text data type of the sales column to the decimal number data type, there could be chances you may lose some data. So what I do is I smartly click on cancel, don't do anything here. The issue is once you make any changes here, it will become permanent. You cannot undo it. So Control Z, Control Z in the Word document or any document, Excel, or right. So once you type it, for example, here the notepad. For example, if I type something, my system is controlled by someone else. I think my staffs are accessing here, or companies, people. Okay, here, for example, you just typed today we are going to cover multiple data sources, how to connect to something like that. Okay, I just typed it, and what I do is I made a mistake here. Okay, and I just do Control Z, right? If I do Control Z, so 1 second. It's hanging for everything. 1 second. And then I have, okay, I opened my Python here. That's the reason why it is causing problem. Okay. If you do Control Z, it will undo the changes, whatever you made it. For example, 1 second here. Let me close my Python. Give me a second. This is the one causing problem. Some jobs are running behind the scene. Okay, that's the reason why. But usually it should not cause. Okay, now look here. Now it's fine. After closing, my guess was correct. SQL Server management, I will close it for the time being. You open so many files, especially if you have less than 8 GB and all right, it'll hang like an. In fact, I have 16 GB RAM, but still it is hanging here. Something like that. Okay, I want to say 10, 20, 30. And what I do is I just make it 40. And then I realize, no, I want the previous value. You do the Control Z. Okay, Control Z here. Let me do one thing. So in the case of it's still hanging. 30, you just typed it 30. Sometimes the zoom is also causing the slowdown. Okay, look here. So Control Z, you know, right? When you if you want to undo the changes. My God, let me close this one also. I don't need this one. I don't need anything here. Let me close the PowerPoint also. We don't need a PowerPoint. I can explain everything on top of my mind. Okay, we don't need that one. But whenever it is required, I will open it. And here, 10, 20, 30 is there. And then I make it 40 here. Okay, and then sorry, if I do Control Z, look here, if you want the previous value back, Control Z, we use it, right? That is not possible here. Okay, remember that. So what I do is, for that purpose, I just go to the transform data, which is available under your home ribbon. Click on transform data. It will open the Power Query editor. So now we are in the kitchen. Okay, you just think that way. Okay, so now what I do is sales column, we had a problem. Look here, ABC. In the case of Power Query Editor, you can see along with each and every column, some icon here. Okay, the sales along, you can see ABC. ABC represents the text data type, and quantity 1, 2, 3. So what is this 1, 2, 3 tells us? It means a whole number. The data, the quantity is a numeric data type, but it's a whole number, integer data type. Okay, and discount is 1.2, which means a decimal data type. Okay, and shipping cost is also a decimal. And this is a text data type, hence ABC is fine. Okay, in this case, it is fine. But only thing is, it is not acceptable. Since it's a text data type, if you want to perform any arithmetic operation, for example, if you want to add 10 or multiply these values by 20, it will not work. It will throw an error because text, it will consider everything as a text, something like Avinash into 10. Will it work? It will not work. Right? So what we need to do is actually it is a numeric data type. And first of all, we are surprised why the text data type got assigned to the sales column. That is because, thank God, we don't have to do too much of research. The first record itself, you can see that the numeric value was prefixed with dollar. If any numeric values combined with this dollar or any alphabet like a text data type, right? So it will consider everything as a text data type. Now you might be asking this one, only one value in this column is combined with a dollar here. Just because of this one value, would it convert the entire value in the sales column as a text data type? Yes. This is common in all the programming languages, isn't it? If you take any programming languages, the text data type takes the highest precedence. Even if you have one text value, okay, it will consider the entire data as a text data type, entire column as a text data type. So now what we need to do, what is the workaround? I need to convert the date data type, sorry, the numeric data type. How do I convert it? Just click on this icon. And then here, okay, sales is a decimal number, isn't it? It's not a full, the integer number, right? So when I click on decimal number, what happens is, okay, replace current. It is giving me an error here. See, it put error here. Wherever the values were prefixed with the dollar, it put an error. But whereas here, we did not see any dollar. The values were not, but we saw something like NEA. Okay. The advantage of Power Query, we can undo whatever the changes we made. What changes we made? We changed the sales column from text to decimal data type. But as soon as I change the data type from text to decimal, it is showing some error. Rest of the values are okay, but this is not acceptable. Okay, they want the error-free data. Who? The end customers. What I do is, I don't want to convert this to decimal data type. Okay, so what I do is mistakenly I clicked on decimal number, or intentionally I click decimal number. So now what I do is I just go and undo the changes. Okay, go back to the previous stage. Okay, now we are in the previous stage. So now what I do is, okay, if I convert this decimal number data type, since it has already combined with the dollar, with this one, it's considered text data type. It is not converting it. It is convert. So if you convert the text to number, Avinash to number, if you convert it, what will happen? It will throw an error, right? That is what is happening. According to Power BI, it is something like Avinash. Texted, entire values are text. Okay. So what I do is I keep instead of going here, I just keep the cursor somewhere here. Okay. Not here. I just keep the cursor somewhere here, right click on it, and then replace values. So what I want to do is I want to replace the dollar by nothing. Sorry, where is the dollar? Dollar. Here I'm not going to specify anything. Empty string. Empty string. If you don't specify, it's considered empty string. Click on OK. Look here, the dollar got replaced with empty string. It got removed. Good. But still, it remains as a text data type. Okay. So now if I scroll down, now I can go and change it to decimal number. But if I scroll down, we have another problem. NE is there. NE stands for not available. Not available, which means no data is there here. Okay, no data is there. Blank values are there. So I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to address this and replace values. I just type NA. I just put 0 here. Replace all the blank values by 0 here, and then click on OK. Look here, all the NA values got replaced successfully by 0. Got it? And then but other issues like in the first record, we can see the blank values are there. I just go to the home ribbon, and then if you see here, we have something called remove rows, remove top rows. And then I just specify one here, click on OK. First row has no values in it, right? So what is the point in having a blank row? I removed it. Now I just take a look at the sales column. Still it remains as a ABC. Now I'm going to change it to decimal number. Before you change it to decimal number, you need to do some kind of pre-processing. In this case, I remove the dollar and then I replace the NA by 0, and then I change explicitly from text to number data type. Right. So I have carried out, so many couple of steps, right? All these steps, whatever I did it got recorded here, just beneath this applied steps. You can see the replace value one, remove the top row, change data type, right? And here you can click on the replace value. If you want to see what you did it, right? And when you click on this, in the formula bar, you can see what you did. Look here, the dollar, earlier dollar was there here. You replace the dollar by blank value, empty string. So, okay, now the question is, what the hell is this? What is this? This is called M language. What is that? M language. Which component are we using now? Power Query Editor. M language. It created a script on our behalf behind the scene. Though I just did I write any program? Did I write any script? Nothing, right? All I did was just right click on it and replace the dollar by blank string and NA by 0. That's all. Yes, type it in the chat window, Prabhat. Yeah. Right, that's all. And then what happened? It created a M language script behind the scene automatically. We don't have to do anything here. Yes, Prabhat, you have a question? 1 second, I'll just unmute you. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Sir, if you delete that dollar sign, then the result will be different, no?
How come it will be different?
Instead of first one, all these are dollars are in different formats.
What is it?
Where in the sales column,
Uh-huh.
first one was dollar, okay?
Mm-hmm.
From the second onwards, it is in dollar or something else.
Yeah, so the assumption here is all the values in the sales column are dollar only, okay, US dollar. You just think that.
Okay. Yeah.
It is not multiple currency. Okay, what you are asking is correct. So in most of the cases, what will happen is, especially when you work with MNCs, multinational companies, they have their retail chains. For example, in the case of e-commerce or retail, right? They have the offices located across the globe, India, abroad, everywhere.
Yes.
Right. So in that case, you will have multi currencies, but in this case, the assumption is we have only one currency, say dollar. Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah. That's a good question. Okay. By the way, it's okay. Right. So in this case, the assumption is, yeah, we are using we consider this as a dollar, entire values that are available in sales column is a dollar data type. Dollar. Okay. And I removed the dollar by string. So the point here is, at this moment, you just understand the steps. Okay. And what exactly the steps are all about. The replace value, replace the dollar by empty string. And then if you want to see what is the next step I carried out, when you click on this one, next step is I replace the NES by 0. It's something like, once you wake up from your bed, what are the things that activities you did it? First, you go to, you brush your teeth. And then what you do is you clean your face. And then you do some exercise, mild exercise. And then you take a bath. All these sequence of steps. So if you want to see first what I did, click on this one, right? So, and then next activity, next step, what did I do? So likewise, what happens is in Power BI, Power Query Editor, it stores, it registers the activities, whatever we did it in sequence, okay, in the proper sequence, so that you can refer it back. So what is the first step I carried out? What is the second action that I carried out? What is the third action I carried out? I removed the top rows, in the third action. And then the fourth action, what I did, I just converted this one from text to decimal data type. Okay. And the advantage of this one is, see, even in the case of Power Query Editor, Control Z will not work. Control Z will not work. See, this is the example. Supposing you change 30 to 40, and now you want the value 30 back. Control Z. See, you got it. Using Control Z, you can get back the previous value. The Control Z will not work here. Instead, he registered the steps. And supposing you don't want, the step to be carried out. For example, I just, now what I do is, I just select this column, row.id, right click on it, I remove this column. So now I realize, oh, mistakenly I removed this row.id. So I want that column back. Control Z is not working. So next to this step, you can see the cross tick mark here. When you click on this, look here, it will undo the change what you made it. What change you made it? I removed the column row.id. I want to undo that. Okay, which means I want to get the previous value back. Okay, mistakenly I deleted it. No, I want the previous value, row.id. Okay, fine. So that's how you can undo the values based on the steps that are available here. Okay, whichever steps that you want to undo it, later point in time, you can do it. But see, look here, in the case of sales column, when I change the data type, before I change the data type, I had to remove the dollar and I had to strip or remove the dollar that were available along with the numeric value, and then replace the NA by 0. And then only I need to convert a decimal data type. But if I do the same thing here, what will happen is, in my Power BI desktop itself, in the data view, if I do it, if I remove if I want to remove, first of all, you don't have option to remove the dollar. Okay. And if you directly go here, click on it, and you will see the menu here. That menu, if you select the decimal data type, what will happen is, it will convert everything as a decimal data type except the value that were prefixed with dollar. It will throw an error. Control Z will not work. And if you say, no, I made a mistake, I wanted to go back to the previous, no, it will not work here. Whereas here, Control Z option is available only here. Hence, better you can do all kind of data transformation here. For certain things, you can do it in the data view itself. If you are very much clear, the data type, data is, everything is correct, then you can do it there. But it is always advisable, you can do any changes to the data in the Power Query Editor. Okay, now the question is, what are the steps that I carried out on top of this data? Okay, and can I see it as soon as I do this? Can I see it here? You cannot see it here. Okay, you cannot, it will not reflect immediately. So what you need to do is, you need to click on the file and then close and apply. When you click on close and apply in the Power Query Editor, what are the steps that you carried out? That one will be applied permanently to those changes will apply permanently to your table, your model. Okay, this is your model. Okay, the model will apply all the changes. For example, you change the data type, everything, right? You just see here. And if you go and check, click on the sales column here, look here, just before the sales column, you can the sigma annotation now. It got converted successfully, right? So to apply the changes or the steps, whatever you did there, right? To make it permanent, you need to click on file and close in the Power Query Editor. Which one? Avinash, which one you will do it? Click on file, close and apply. And next one is apply and close. Is there? As the name says, close. After you carried out all these steps, and if you go and click on close, what will happen? These steps will not get applied. Okay. And apply is, okay, apply all these things to my data model. Okay, make it permanent, but don't close the Power Query Editor. That's all. Okay. So now we did not do any changes now. I'm going to simply click on close. That's all, guys. Very simple. Okay. Fine. Now what I do is, again, the order date issues are there, right? So order date, I need to change it. Before we proceed with other changes, now the question is, we made changes in Power Query Editor for this data, right? So, but though, right, whatever the changes, for example, so there is something like row.id. I'm not going to use this in my report. Okay, it is not at all helpful. I just right click on it, remove it. Look here, a step got added here for this, removed columns. And if you look at here, the table.remove columns row.id, this is the column here, data point. And if you want to check it, you can say, see in the real-time scenario, once you get into a project in the software company, once you get into a project, what will the, you will be applying a lot of changes. Okay, apart from changing the data type, you will be creating a new columns, and you will be making some you will be using complex data transformation, or you may be changing the data type or something else, okay, or splitting the values in a column. All those things you will be doing it. So in that case, you will find a lot of steps will be there. Okay, the purpose of maintaining the steps here is nothing but the action, which action you carried out first, which action you carried out next. In the proper sequence, it will register all kind of actions, which they call it as steps here. Let's say you have 20 here, in this case 2, 4, 6, 7. Let's say you carried out so many things, 20 steps are there, and you want to see what you did it in the 15th step. You can go and click on it, and then you can see, oh, this is okay, I removed the column, good. For that purpose, this is very much helpful. It's something like registering it. What are the changes you made it, everything you register it here. It's like your accounts journal, right? What how much money you paid, how much money you received. The accounts department, they have something like journal, right? It's kind of a journal entry. So now what I do is I just look at the order date and everything. Okay, I removed the row.id. Fine. Okay. So now the question is, if I go back to my Power BI desktop data view, still it is there, row.id, because I'm here to apply these changes, whatever these things, right? It's all happening in the memory. This data gets loaded into memory. Okay, so when you open the data, so whatever the changes you're doing, it is happening in the memory only. Okay, now what you do is when I click on close and apply, whatever the changes you made it in the memory, it will get applied in your file, in your Power BI file, data file, which is nothing but your data model. And if you go and see it now, look here, row.id column got removed. Got it? Row.id is not there. After applying the changes, close and apply. When you clicked on close and apply, the row.id got removed. And then if you go to the dat1 folder, and here if you go here, dat1 folder, and if you select sales W04 file here, and if you open it here, it's a 5 MB file. Okay. But the column row.id, you removed it from this file only. But still that column is available in your operating system file. Remember this. Whatever the changes, the column you change it, data type you change it, everything is happening only inside the Power BI, not in the underlying file. It is not going to disturb this one. If you delete anything, it will not get disturbed. Okay, fine. Now the question is, okay, where the data gets stored, these data will get stored, these data will get stored inside your Power BI desktop only. Okay. In the interview, they'll ask you, once you load the data, and let's say you created the report, everything, and so where the data will reside, once you load the data into your Power BI desktop, it will be available as part of my Power BI desktop file itself. Okay, now it is time for us to save it as some meaningful name. So what I do is I just call it as a day one demonstration. Day one demo for for loading files, loading different files. I saved this file with that name. Look here, now the file name got changed. The report file name got changed as a day one demo loading data files. Okay, I just go to the folder here. And if I see here, this is the first file, right? This is the file name. You can see it here. I saved it as day one demo location loading different files. I can see that name here. But along with this file name, you can see something like .pbix. The extension of this report file is pbix. .pbix, right? You need to remember this. In the interview, they'll ask you what is the extension of the Power BI file, pbix. Okay. The other thing is like if I remove any columns or any records in the Power BI inside the Power BI desktop, so will it get affected your underlying file? Nothing. Avinash, are you able to follow me? I'm going a very slow pace. Right? It is not. Please concentrate here. Okay. Here language doesn't matter, right? Any of my people will join tomorrow for sure. Okay. And right. So simple thing. I removed a column, but in the Power Query editor, when I do any changes, it is not reflecting immediately. I have to click on File, Close and Apply. Only then it will get reflected here. Okay. So now you understood the file extension, the basic things, right? The fundamental building blocks, like what is the file extension .pbix, and then whatever the changes that I make it here, will it get reflected in the data file? No, it will not disturb the data file. It will happening only in your memory and model. That's all. What other changes I can do it? So that we will see later. We'll work more on the data transformation part little later. Now we will proceed with understanding how I can load an Excel file. Click on the get data. You have Excel workbook. So these are the connectors. Different connectors are available. And when you click on more, you'll find a lot of other connectors out here. If you want to connect to Hadoop, you can connect. If you want to connect to cloud, like Azure cloud, or if you want to connect to any NoSQL database or JSON file, XML file, SharePoint folder, right? Sybase database, you name any type of database or file system, right? You can see the connector here. So at this moment, we are going to look at the Excel workbook, how to load an Excel file into my book. Click on the Excel workbook, that's all. In this folder, I have a file called sales fact or NC sales. Okay. NC sales.xlx file. Okay. Once you download the files, whatever I uploaded in my website, you'll find two versions of the same file, ncsales.xls, xls6. Better you select xls6, okay? Because few of my students were posing issue with xls. Better, because the older version of Excel was not supporting it. Better. So in that case, what you do is you open this file and save it as a .xls file. That's all, guys, okay? But still, right, I would suggest select the xls6 file and click on open. So in this Excel file, I have two sheets are there. So I select the second one. I know very well this is the one I needed. And then I just scroll towards the end till the end. Okay, everything seems to be good. Okay. So I'm going to click on load here. Okay. The sales W04 was the underlying file name, the file extension for the CSV file, right? .csv. Whereas for this, it is an Excel file. Though it is Excel file and a CSV file, once the files get loaded into Power BI Desktop, it is considered as a table. So far, so good. The next question is, what the hell is NC sales? Okay, I know it is a North Carolina sales. In USA, there is a place called North Carolina. So what I do is I give some meaningful name. How do I rename the table? Just double click on it. And then I just say sales fact. What is fact? Fact is something factable. It's very specific to business intelligence. Okay. The real-time scenario, we'll be using more or less like this naming convention. Okay. Fact table, sales fact, revenue fact, something like that. Okay. I renamed the file. Is it possible for me to table name, right? Okay. I'm going to click on it. I say weekly sales, sorry. And one more time, I just click on weekly sales. Fourth weekly sales. In month, 4 weeks are there. This is fourth weekly sales. Okay, fine. I just renamed it. How do I rename a column? You just click on the column gently once. Okay, and then right click on it. And you can click on rename. You have an option called rename. If you wanted to rename it, you can rename it. By right clicking on, just select the column, whichever column that you want to rename it, just select that and right click on it, new column. Here you can specify the column name. Okay, 1 second. Okay, this is for creating new column. Sorry, rename column. You have something called rename column. You can create a new column also in addition to the existing one. For example, I just selected this. Right click on it. You have something called rename. Okay, you can rename. The other thing is like just double click on it and then you can rename it. Okay, I am lazy enough. Just select the column. You can see here, right? So here also you can change it. Okay, you can change it. For example, price one. It is not getting changed there. Okay, here I just change it to 1 here. I never tried it here. Okay, insert. Yeah, you can. It's possible. You just specify it and then click on it somewhere here. Okay, not here. It will get this. There are 3 ways of change. Renaming a column, right? Just click or just press enter. Yeah, press enter or. Now it got renamed as cost price itself. How to change the column name, table name, you learned it now. Data type also how to change it, you learned it. And then I just go to the data view again. And the next thing is what we can do. I removed a column. How to remove a column, how to rename a column, how to remove a row. You remember how to remove a row, Avinash? I just opened the Power Query editor and then I just selected remove rows there, right? With that we can. So remove rows also you can specify. I just show you one more time. Click on the home ribbon. Transform data. Once you click on the transform data, it will open the Power Query editor. Fine. The next step is you just go to the home ribbon, remove rows. This is very convenient. Supposing you want to remove the first 2 rows, you want to remove it, just type 2. If you want to remove the first 5 rows, top 5 rows you want to remove it, specify it here. In this case, I don't have to remove it because I already removed 1 blank record. There is no necessity for removing the records here. But in some cases, you open a file, you want to take only small number of records. You want to remove some rows. So in that case, you can type it here. Okay, you can say, look here, when you look at this one, you will see 999 records, 25 columns are there. And the column profiling, total number of records, I'll show you how to find out the total number of records that are there in this file, in the Power Query editor itself. So this is basically, I don't want to use the entire data, but I just want to use only few records. So if I know, 25,000 records are there, I want to use only the 5,000 records. Okay, so what I do is I just remove the first 25,000 records, 20,000 records. You just go and say 20,000 records. I just want to remove it. Click on OK. The first 20,000 records will get removed, and you are left with only you're left with only 5 records. See, 1 second, Bhavat, I will explain everything. Whatever the doubts you guys, you don't have to ask any doubts. In such a way, I will explain everything. Let's go step by step. Okay. So what I will do is, the next one is transform, remove rows, remove bottom rows. Okay, I don't want to remove the top 5 rows. Instead, I want to remove the bottom rows. Selected 5 records. Remove the bottom 5 records. Okay, and then I want to remove only the selective records. You just go here, remove alternate rows. Okay, first row to remove and number of rows to remove, number of rows to keep. Here, first row to remove, remove the third record, number of rows to remove. From the third record, remove 5 records, and then you keep only the 100 records. In total, keep only 100 records, and start with the first third record, remove it, and then number of rows, right from the third record, remove only 5 records, and in total, you keep only 100 records. Okay, and the other option is like you have something like remove rows, right? Remove errors, remove blank rows. If you have blank values, you can remove it. Remove duplicates. Okay. And sorry, here remove alternate rows. Repeatedly take and skip starting at indicate number of rows to repeatedly take and skip starting at a specific row. Okay. So I want to start from the third row, and number of rows to remove is 5, and number of rows to keep, the same thing, right? Like, I want to keep only 20,000 up to 20,000 records. Take the, every 3, specify the pattern rows to remove and keep, right? So first, start with the third record, remove the 5 records, right? So that is, and then you keep, in total 20,000 records. That is how it works. Okay. These are the options. You can also explore this one. Okay. Remove rows and then keep rows, keep top rows. So here number of rows, just say 5. Just only keep for top 5 rows instead of removing all the things, right? You just keep only, I don't want all the records. I just need the top 5 records. Keep bottom rows. Okay. See, in this case, remove bottom rows. Sometimes what will happen, the bottom 100 records, you don't need it. Simply click on it. Sometimes what you need is, I want to keep only the bottom 5 records, rest of them I want to remove it. You just select bottom 5 records. That's all, guys. Got it? It's all cool feature. And then the next one is, I just go here and keep rows and keep range of rows. First row and number of rows. Okay, specify the range. So I don't want to see, in this case, keep top rows, bottom rows. Okay, if you select, in this case, what happened? Top 5 rows, first top 10 records, I can keep it. But bottom 5 records, bottom 20 records again. But in between, I don't want to start with the top record. I don't want to start with the bottom record. Instead, in between, I want to select the range of records. You can select the range of records based on the first row, start from 5th row. And look here, start from SG, right? And CA to and this one up to this. Sorry, CA2021 to 10th row. Keep only these records. SG20132 to CA2012. Look here. Okay, it is. Oh yeah. It's not that way. 1 second. Because I factored into the records from the beginning, right? So here you understood what I'm saying. Keep range of rows. Here what happens is, start from the 5th row and then number of rows 10 here. Number of them. Start from 5th row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. MX2012. It's not that way. Okay. And 5th row SG2013. And then from here, what is this thing? MX2012, right? MX2012 or the next, it works that way. You understood? This is how it works. You can select any records You can keep only specific records from the middle, or if you want to keep only the top 5 record, top 20 record, top 30 record, everything is possible with these options. And then remove columns, right? So you can just right click on it and then you can remove it. That is a very simple one. So all the basic stuffs now you understood. Any questions now? Yeah, now you can ask me questions. Prabhat, you have any questions? Okay, since you don't have any questions. Right, fine. So now you understood the basic navigations and also the options, right? Which option should I use it to do some kind of data selection, everything. Okay, how to remove data type change. And the next one is the date data type. Okay, so before we get in the date data type, what I will do is I just, so now, okay, this is a CSV file and this is a Excel file. Okay, now what happens is I close and apply it. So likewise, in the real times, you'll be using n number of files, more than one file. Okay, so if you open the real time report, you will find a load of files will be there, and you wanted to know, which file, what is the underlying file for each and every table. Okay, in that case, click on the transform data and click on the data source settings. You will find it here. Hey, for this table, the underlying file is ncsales.xlx. We renamed this as sales fact. And then for this one, the underlying file is this one. So these two files are available under this folder. Got it? So when I share this file to you all, right, what you do is once you open it, and when you start creating some report or some visual or something, in that case, you will get an error. Because in your laptop, you download the data file, whatever I upload in my website, but still you are getting the error. The reason is you need to create a folder like this, d:dat1 in your laptop. And then in that folder, you need to keep these two files. Because when you open my file, which I share it, what will happen is it will go and check the data files from this folder. It will check these data files, whether these data files are available or not. Okay, it is available, but it is not available in this folder. It will throw an error. First, it will go and search this data file and the associated folder name. For that, what I would suggest, right, you create a folder name with this name. The other option is, no, I don't have D drive. I have only C drive. Or I don't want to keep the data file in the dat1. Can't I use my own folder name? Yes, you can use it. In that case, you can click on the change source. The other option is, 1 second, let me just. Here, click on the change source. Here you can say, okay, I have C drive is there. You can change it and then click on OK. Okay. Or if you don't want to use this naming convention for your data or something like that, you can change it. But make sure that in your laptop, in this folder, this file is available. Okay. And click on OK. That's all. Open file as Excel book. Again, different options are. Just not worry about this. And you have an advanced option. And then file path preview, open file as Excel workbook, and add part. You can add something else also here, but we don't need it. Only one file, that is more than sufficient. In this case, right, whatever files are there, make sure that you are giving the correct data type, sorry, the folder name, the data file name, and then the folder name. Okay. If you want to change it, you can change it. Okay. And then you have edit permissions. You have something called public, organizational, private. Anyhow, once you create a report, you can, you can publish it to cloud service. There we can set the thing, everything. Okay. And then you have something called export PBIDs. When you click on it, this NC sales will get exported as a Power BI data sets. Look here, this extension is different. PBIDS, Power BI data sets. Anyhow, I just save it for the moment. Okay, I will explain it later point in time. Okay, and then edit permissions. Yeah, we have already discussed this. Okay, and then if you don't want the permission, you want to clear all the permissions, you can remove it. So anyhow, you don't have to worry about everything. Only thing is how to change the folder name or the path name, everything, right? You can see it here. That's all. The rest of them are like admin's job. They are the ones supposed to give everything here. And you right, this one I'm not going to discuss now. Fine. The next step is how to load the data from your SQL server. So what you do is you just click on the get data. Look here, SQL server, Microsoft SQL server. Okay, I just click on the SQL server. And I believe all of you have installed the SQL server and then SSMS. Okay, I just repeat it one more time. You need to install SQL server first. Okay, first step is you need to install SQL server. The second step is SQL server management studio, SSMS. First you need to install SQL server and then only need to install SSMS. Got it? So you just go to the Google. Sorry guys, I repeat it one more time. It might be boring to others. Go to somewhere, I have so many things here. Or I just say download SQL server for Windows. You can go to this one and then so this is the Microsoft site, and if you scroll the SQL Server download site, you need to scroll down a bit and then you need to select the Express edition. Okay, don't ask me why Express. Better, this is a free license free, and also we are the developer version is also free, but better you select this one. Okay, and click on download now. That's all. It will take less than a second, okay, to download this file. Just double click on the exe file. That's it. And then it will open an installation window. Click on next, and then it will ask you something like you wanted to accept, right? You click on accept and click on the next button. It will take some time to install it. After some while, you will find the message like installation was successful, and then you close that window. And then what you do is go to the Google again, SQL Server Management Studio. Click on it. Okay, so here download SQL Server Management Studio. So what is the difference between SQL Server and SQL Server Management Studio? In the SQL Server Management Studio only write the SQL query. Okay, so in this page you just scroll down, click on this one. The installation is also pretty simple. But guys, make sure that you are first installing the SQL Server and then only you are installing SQL Server Management Studio, because it's a client server thing. Okay, the client is SSMS and the server is SQL Server. You need a server first. Only then, if you install this client, it will work. Okay, so that installation. So now what will, since I already installed it, so what I do is I just click on get data. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on SQL Server. Here you need to specify the server name. So what I do is I just go to the start button and then SSMS, I type it, SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, since I already installed, I can see this icon here. I just click on it once, only once, gently, and then I keep quiet. It will take some time to open it. So now it open, launch this SQL Server Management Studio. I don't have to go to the SQL Server. I want to go to the SQL because this is where I'm going to write the SQL query. The advantage of SQL Server Management Studio is it is very developer friendly. You don't have to remember or memorize the syntax for the SQL queries or any DML, DDL related commands, right? You don't have to remember or memorize the commands, right? So here, right, hence writing the script also a lot of flexibilities are there. Code completion facilities available. I will explain everything when I cover SQL Server. There is a separate session for SQL Server after completion of the Power BI. I will be covering that. Look here, the moment when I the launch this one, all these values are already available here. I don't have to type anything here. What is the server type? It's selected automatically. Server name selected. Everything automatically selected. Simply, I have to click on the connect button. Avinash. That's all. So you can see on the left side, you have the databases and next to the database, you'll find the plus icon. Click on it will get expanded. So in this case, I have created a table database called sales. This is an SQL server. In this SQL server, I have created a database called sales. In this sales database, I have tables. A database can have more than one table. Look here, these are the tables. Now you might be asking this, and okay, so all these tables are prefixed to DBO. DBO stands for database owner, and the table name is there. Fine, but how do I see the data here? Just select, for example, I wanted to select this column. I want to view the data. Right click on it. Select top 1000 rows. Click on it. That's it, guys. You don't have to write the SQL query. It is that much simple. And SQL Server Management Studio is very developer friendly. Look here. Even for the layman also, it's very friendly, layman friendly. We can say that way. See, the query got generated automatically, and then you can see the data which got stored in my customer table. We can see it here. The query got generated automatically. Okay, fine. So now what I want to do is I wanted to take this customer dimension or dim customer table and then load it into my Power BI desktop. Okay, what should I do is here, I just click on connect once again, database engine. I'm a lazy guy. I select the server name from here. Look here, I just right click on it and then copy it. Go back to your Power BI desktop. Here it is asking the server name. That's all. And then here the database name is optional. But anyhow, I know the database name as sales. I'm going to specify sales. It's something like, hey, you live in Pune, right? There's something like your Pune. In Pune, which street you live? Supposing I want to deliver a letter to you, I should be knowing which city you live, first of all. It's something like this. Server name, you need to specify it. Okay, knowing the city name is not sufficient. Which street that you live, database name. In this database only, all the tables are there. It is like, in that street, many people are living. Which person you want it? Let us wait for some time. It will open up the, now it got connected to my SQL server. This is what my SQL, it got connected, Power BI desktop connected to SQL server. And this SQL server, which table that I needed, I'm interested in dim customer dimension. The moment when I select this here, I can see the data that belong to this table are displayed on the right side, the preview data. Okay, now I can see that everything is fine. Yeah, this is the table that I needed. I just hit the load button. That's it, guys. It'll load the data into my Power BI desktop. But there are two types of connectivity modes other when it comes to SQL Server. I don't know how many of you noticed it. I just show you one more time here. I just selected this one. And here I put this one. Here the sales database I mentioned, right? Sales. Look here, data connectivity. This is very specific to SQL Server database. When I loaded the Excel file, CSV file, it was not showing this option. By default for Excel and CSV file and JSON files, it's an import mode. But when it comes to database like SQL Server, Oracle, Teradata, you will have two options, import or direct query. So what import does, by default, the connectivity mode is import. What import connectivity mode does is, it will pull the data. See, we just loaded the DIM customer table from SQL Server into my Power BI desktop. The entire data of my SQL Server table, the DIM customer, got loaded locally into my Power BI desktop. Okay, that is what import. So next one is the direct query. So then what is the direct query is all about? In the case of direct query, what we are saying is, hey, don't import the data here. Simply import the table name and the column name, that's all. Let the data be there wherever it is. How many of you, aware of, in Pune also Swiggy is there, right? Swiggy app, the food delivery. Avinash or Sumit, you are there, right? Swiggy app. Swiggy, you can order the food, right? The Swiggy app or, yeah, the rights are fine. So the Swiggy app is something like your, the direct query kind of thing, okay? Swiggy app is there in your mobile phone. The kitchen is not there in your hand, right? The Swiggy app is available. You order the food, whatever you wanted. The food is available at the hotel. The hotel only, they are having all the recipes, all the food related items. They cook it, everything. That is kind of your SQL server. You just think about it. What you are seeing here is, when you select the direct query mode, it is something like you are selecting the food items. That's all. But the data will still remain as it is in your SQL server. And what happens is, when I click on this one, direct query mode, even in this case, it will open the preview window. It will ask you which table that you wanted to import it in direct query mode. Now I wanted to load the DIM location table, location dimension table, but this time I'm using direct connectivity mode. When I click on load, whatever, look here, the data preview window it shows. And then when I click on load, what happens is, it will load only the table name and the related column names. That's it. It's something like, it will keep only the menu here. The data will still remain in your SQL server. It will not load the data here. Look here, the DIM location got loaded here. The column names, you can see it here. But when you go to the data view to see the data that are available as per DIM location, you will not be able to see, because you have connected to this table, the SQL server table DIM location, using direct query mode. The direct query mode, what happens is something like, the menu. It just simply display the metadata. We call this a metadata. What do you mean by metadata? That in this case, the table name, column names, and the relationship also. We will see what the relationship a little later. Remember, metadata. It will import only the metadata. What do you mean by metadata? In this case, DIM location, table name, and then the columns that belongs to this table, not the data. The data remains as it is in the target system. If you want to see the data here, right in the here, what you can do is, the other option is, when you go to the transform data, and when you click on the transform Power Query editor, you can see the data. So here you need to select the appropriate DIM location. Select it. Look here, you can see the data here. Power Query editor, you can see that, but here you can see the DBO and DIM location, right? So all the things, source is DBO. When you see DBO, that means SQL server. Here also you can check it out. Click on S source. And then when you click on the source, you can see that It is a SQL. The data for this one comes from SQL database in this server. And in this database, this data is coming here. Okay, now the question is in the Power Query editor, I can see it, but here I cannot see it. And only the table name, column names are got loaded here. The data not got loaded here. So then how, for example, if I want to create a column, right, in the dim location name, let's say I'm going to create something, a table visual. The table visual, I just drag and drop the location name. When the moment when I drag and drop the location name, what happens is the Power Query editor, what happens is generate the SQL query for this, and then that SQL query will be sent to your source system SQL server. It's something like, when the moment when you drag and drop it, something like in the Swiggy, you are ordering the item. The moment when you order the item, what will happen is that order will be sent to the hotel, which in our case, the hotel is SQL server, and then they will, prepare the food, whatever you ordered. The same thing is happening here. Simple. This is a simple analogy. Okay. The SQL query will get generated in the Power Query editor or in the visual itself, right? It will send that query to your SQL server, and then whatever the data that are available as the dim location will be sent back from your SQL server to your Power Query, Power BI visual. Avinash, I repeat you because I have non-IT people are there. Okay, here, see, the SQL server is, available outside of the Power BI desktop, right? This is my PBI stands for Power BI desktop, what you're seeing here, right? And see, this is the visual that is available in our Power BI desktop. Okay. And the moment you drag and drop location name, the Power BI, we have something called Power Query editor, right? Power Query editor. So Power Query editor, what it does is it generates the SQL query. Select location name from this table, location table, and only that SQL query will be sent to your SQL server. Select star from dim location. This query only will be sent to the SQL server. What happens is this query will run in your SQL server. The output of the query will be sent back from your SQL server to your Power BI desktop. Only the query sent, the data will be sent back by your SQL server. But the query runs on your another server, not in this server. Okay, you're not overburdening it, right? The cooking is happening here, and then the delivery is happening. Supposing 1 million customers, they order the product. If you do everything here, what will happen? Simple common sense, right? Instead, if you whatever the customers put, they order it. If you direct those requests to the respective hotel, those hotel they are cooking it. Hence, you are not overburdened. Simple analogy, okay? So Power BI desktop will generate the SQL query, and then that query will be sent. Only the query will be sent to this one. The query will get executed at the source system. In this case, SQL server. The output of this query will be sent back to your Power BI desktop. In this case, it's a visual. The data will be populated into the Power BI desktop visual. This is what is happening behind the scene. But anyhow, I just go to the transform data here. Yes, Maunika, only in the case of direct connectivity mode, that the query will be generated, the query will be sent to the source system SQL server, the query will get executed in the source system SQL server itself, the output of the query will be sent back from SQL server to your Power BI desktop visual dim location. Look here, when I select this one, we can see the data here. Fine, Monica. Yeah. So here you just click on the navigation. Look, so I just selected this table. This table I connected with the direct connectivity mode, and then I can see the steps. These steps got generated automatically. Okay, so there are some steps will be generated behind the scene by Power Query Editor, We don't have to generate anything here. Right click on it. And then if you scroll down here, and if you see here, you have something called view native query. When you click on this, you can see that the query, right? Select location key as location key, location name as location name, and the dim location as table. This query will be sent to you where Avinash? This query will be sent to your SQL server. Got it? Where is that? So look here. This query, right? This query is generated by whom? Power BI, Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor. And then this query will be sent to my SQL server. This is my SQL server, right? So this one will be sent to my SQL server. And this query will run in your SQL server itself. This query's output, the data will be sent back from your SQL server to this visual. Got it? But in the case of Excel, the data is available locally in your laptop, and then it will get populated here. Okay, it need not to go to outside your laptop and then fetch the data. Since the data is available locally, it will show. But whereas in this case, the Power BI will connect to your SQL server, and in the case of direct connectivity mode, okay, so the query will be generated, and then that query will be sent from Power BI to your SQL server, and then the SQL server it will execute this query, and then the output of the query will be sent back to your visual. This is called query folding. What is that? This is called query folding. Anyhow, we'll discuss this a little later, the limitations, everything. This is called your query folding. The interview, they'll ask you, what is query folding? Query folding is nothing but generating the SQL query, the Power Query Editor generate the SQL query, and then it send the SQL query to your SQL server. The SQL server execute this query because the data is available here only. And then what happens, the output of this query will be sent back. What is the output? In this case, all these values. These values are available in your SQL Server database table. Okay, sales database, you have a table called dim location. In that table, this data is there. Look here. This data is stored in your SQL Server. Okay, only thing is the Power Query Editor, it generates the SQL script, and then it sends the script to this one. This data will be, the query will get executed here. The output of this one will be sent back to the Power BI visual. That's it, guys. This is called query folding. So now you understood how to connect to the SQL server. Most of the customers, those use Power BI, I've seen they are using SQL server only. But there are some customers I've seen it, they are using Oracle server. Okay. In that case, you need to specify the server name, Oracle server name, everything. But in the real-time scenario, the SQL server will not be running in your local laptop and all. Okay. Everything is the SQL service running on your cloud, Azure SQL server. You need to tell what source system database that you use. Don't say SQL server, Azure SQL server. Okay, and okay, and then they'll ask you what license are they using it. Say premium license. Don't ever say pro license or free license. Our customer is using premium license. Most of the enterprise, they're using premium license only. But these are the screening questions. If you mess up here, they think your profile is not genuine. You just attended the training and then you directly applied for the job. We are looking for experienced people. Okay, so they'll expect you whether you know all these things. Okay, if they ask you these kind of questions, right? If you say yes, we are using Power BI premium license, our customer, and the Azure SQL server that is available on cloud. Azure is a cloud. Okay, Microsoft Cloud. That cloud, Azure SQL Server, be used to connect. So in this case, what happens is you need to specify the URL, okay, the server URL, and then the port number or something like that. That's all. Okay. and then the database name. That's it, not much difference. Okay. But this connectivity mode is common for the cloud or local thing. It's very common for both. But in the case of direct connect, they'll ask you what is the difference between import and direct connectivity mode. So yes, see, look here in the customer table, customer dimension table is available in my SQL server, but I imported this table locally. I use the import connectivity mode. But whereas location table, I did not import the data locally from my SQL server. Instead, I have connected to the SQL server using direct connectivity mode. In that case, the data of this table still lies in my source system itself. It is not available. Only the table name, column name got loaded here. Okay, fine, guys. I will share this video to you all. You watch this one, and we will continue the session tomorrow. And what we will do is, okay, now I have formed the batch, right? Enough member, this is enough. What I will do is for the next 2 weeks, right? We will go in a slow pace, and then we will increase the duration, 2 hours or 2 hour 15 minutes. Probably we can prepone the time also, right? 8:30 to 11 or 8:30 to 10 or 11. Okay, so the earlier if I finish it, it will be good for you also, because Monday through Fridays you are free. Okay, and yeah, sure, Monica, I'll share that one also. Did I not share that? It is there in my link, right? Anyhow, I will check it out and I'll share it. Okay, last week and this week, all the videos link, I will share it to you. The live session video link, I'll share it to you all. Just watch it and then practice it. I have a mix of people here, and smart people already, having experience in IT, and non-IT. They don't know the ABCs of, the Power BI, even Excel also, they never worked. Hence, next 2 weeks, I'll be going a slow pace. Those do not have non-IT background, please watch my videos and start practice it. Only practice makes you a person perfect. And if you guys strictly practice it, if you don't miss any session, if you complete all the assignments, then I can give you an assurance that I can place you, after completion of the training program. But again, as soon as the training is over, I cannot place it. Depends on the market condition, everything. But it'll be helpful for me to position you. Okay, at least in 2 to 3 weeks time, lead time, I can position you. So I don't know how many of you have seen my status, right? Couple of people, even now, they got placed. Even the data scientist, right? He's just having 4 years experience, believe me or not, okay? 16 lakhs for data science. See, data science, they pay like anything, but people do not have non-IT background. It is good you start with analytics. But if you have a strong fire, no, at any cost, I want to be data science, you can continue with the data science also with us. It is up to you, okay? It's not that I'm greedy to convince you to, make money and all. You saw, it's a eyewitness, 4 year experienced person, 16 lakhs. Even if you say you come Power BI, you are very good in Power BI, everything, maximum they'll give you, if you say you are 4 year experience, they will give you 9 to 10 lakhs, that's all, or 10.5. But beyond that, you cannot touch it. Even after 1 year, right? If you make a switch to another company, you can demand probably, let's see, if you join with 9.5 to 10.5 lakhs, we can get 13 to 14 lakhs. That's all. But data science is not like that. Okay. But anyhow, so you start with a small step, and then first baby step, and then and then we will proceed with thinking about running all the things. Fine, guys. Any questions from your side? Now I'm okay to take up your questions. Okay, the videos, study materials, everything will be made available. Still, if you have any questions, what I will do is probably after 2 weeks, I will give you the assignments and start practice it. And also we plan to add some more assignments and quizzes in our website. And what you do is side by side. So Sumit, the duration of data science. This question is, what is the duration of data science? Duration of data science is 4.5 to 5 months, Sumit. That's all. That is also a weekend program. Okay. Okay. So what you do is don't miss out any session, please. Okay. See, you all are youngsters, right? and so everybody have fun. You want to have friend, get together, everything, right? But everything should go hand in hand. Okay, enjoy your life as well as work hard. So definitely the success will become. Like Pravat, you asked, right? You said, right? So Pravat, sent a message saying that after 2 months, I want my picture to be displayed in my status like, I got placed. Definitely, if you follow strictly, but you don't have to sweat too much because Power BI is very simple compared to data science. But that doesn't mean Power BI is very, very, very simple. But people do not have IT background. It will take some time. Okay, especially when I cover DAX and data visualization, you need some time. Okay, but practice, practice, practice. Don't forget it. Okay, if you shut down the laptop tomorrow night and if you start the laptop next Saturday, Sunday, you will not learn anything. All right, fine, guys. Every day, at least, right, 1 hour, you open it and you have my previous batch videos available in my website. Proactively, you go and watch my previous batch videos also, and then you can practice it side by side. Okay, that is another way of fast tracking. When it comes to software jobs, right, the more you practice, you're an expert. That's all, right? If you probably, who knows, right, after 2 months, if you get placed and if you work in a very tough project, you might become an expert, right? You might become an expert and you will solve many problems individually. Okay, guys, enough talking. Okay, good night. We will see you all tomorrow. But don't think, I just spent 1 hour, 1.5 hour. Let's give some breathing space for the non-IT people to scale up. And but non-IT people, please utilize this time and practice well. You need to scale up quickly. Okay. Okay. Good night. Since you don't have